Champions is made possible by a grant from Professional Investments of America, a full-service real estate firm specializing in condominium sales.
From the St. Edward's High School Gymnasium, it's a near sellout for the 7th annual Quad of Champions, featuring state champions from South Carolina, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. In tonight's final, the Eagles of St. Ed's, rated by the Amateur Wrestling News as the top high school team in the country, will take on Tulsa Hale, the reigning state champions from Oklahoma, who some say is the #2 team in the country. Hi, everyone. Mike Massa along with Brian Brakeman. And, Brian, I think this has got to be sort of a downer for these teams coming in when they look up to the rafters and see all of these state champion banners hanging from the rafters a la, Boston Garden, where they've got the 8-time state championship and also the 5-time mythical national championship.
I don't think there's any question about it. I think we saw some of that this afternoon when the teams from Tennessee and South Carolina had some problems wrestling in this gymnasium. I don't think they wrestled up to their potential. With Oklahoma, I think we're going to see a different story. I don't think these boys are going to fold.
Oklahoma, of course, it's really a hotbed. Oklahoma and Iowa and Ohio considered the great wrestling parts of the country.
I think that's basically true. I think you have to add Pennsylvania in there, too, to some extent. This team we're going to be seeing tonight, Tulsa Hale, is the defending state champs from Oklahoma in the big school division, and they're favored to win it again this year. It's going to be an interesting duel meet because they have 6 or 7 very excellent wrestlers. I think the problem they may have with Edge is they don't match them in consistency. There are some weight classes where Tulsa Hale may be pretty weak.
But the tough ones, we've got 2 great ones for matchups at 112 and 155.
112, I think, is the one everybody's looking forward to. We have Kevin Biggs, who's been a runner-up twice in the state of Ohio, against probably the best wrestler in Tulsa Hale's team, and that's Steve Clevenger, who's been a 2-time state place winner, and last week beat the world junior champion in a dual meet back home. So this is going to be a terrific bout.
Landolfo at 55.
I tell you, this is going to be an interesting bout. Both boys undefeated. He and Wes White, both real pinners. They pinned almost all the time. Wes White, a senior, very heavily recruited. It's going to be interesting to see whether the junior Landolfo pushes him to the point where he breaks.
We've got some exciting wrestling in store for you. We'll be back with the start of 98 pounds right after this timeout.
Bill Moyers is joined by Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee for a personal view of the continuing black struggle for civil rights. From Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Journalism and drama meet in Part 2 of the Second American Revolution on a walk through the 20th century with Bill Moyers.
Sunday at 7.
Enter the invisible domain of the sun. Explore its violence, its beauty, and its imperfections. Learn how scientists are shattering age-old beliefs about the sun and its influence on Earth. Discover the awesome world of the solar sea on the next Planet Earth.
Wednesday at 9.
You'll turn it on and you'll love it. TV worth watching. WVIZ.
Standing beside me is Bill Hewlett, the head coach at Tulsa Hale High School. And Bill, not many people in this area are very familiar with Oklahoma wrestling. Maybe you might tell us a little bit about your high school and about your wrestling tradition.
Okay, well, in Oklahoma we have a very strong tradition of wrestling dating back to 1907. And we have very strong even in the lower classes. We have 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A, and all classes are very strong. Last year was the first year that Hale won state. They're in Oklahoma, so we're real proud of that fact.
What's the strength of your team that we should look for when we see the matches tonight? Where are you really strong?
We're strong mainly from 114 up through 169 is our main strength right there, with a couple of them that are mediocre. But we're mainly a very strong tournament team. As far as duels, we're not that awfully tough, but we're a real good tournament team. The harder the tournament, the better we'll do.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill, and good luck tonight.
Okay, thank you.
At 98 pounds, we've got Alan Freed, a freshman from St. Ed's, who comes in this year 14-0, and 11 of those are falls. He's going to be taking on another freshman from Tulsa Hale, Lonnie White. His record this year is 4-2.
Sitting there watching tonight's match with great interest is the Olympic gold medalist at heavyweight for the United States in 1984, Bruce Bumgardner.
This should be a beauty with Alan Freed. He looks so small, doesn't he, from St. Ed's?
He may be small, Mike, but he was a two-time national AAU age group champ in freestyle. Maybe only 14 years old and a freshman, but he is extremely experienced and extremely strong. Product of the Longwood Y, and we've seen a lot of those wrestlers the last few weeks.
Of course, he's done well this year. 3 tournament championship at West Jogga, North Canton, and Spencerport.
I say Freed has done all right this year, Mike. 14-0 with 11 falls.
Really wrestling around the edge of those mats a lot, aren't they?
Well, he's been kind of stalking the Tulsa Hale wrestler. Both boys freshmen. Lanny White from Tulsa out of their junior high program. There's Freed with the takedown and a 2-0 lead. He's a pinner, Mike.
Yeah, it's so important at the lighter weights at like 98 to get the big win. Sort of pumps up the rest of the team.
I think it's particularly important for the visiting team, in this case Tulsa, if they can get a victory.
Trying to get those back points.
That tilt.
Got it. Minute to go, first period.
It's already 6-0, Alan Freed. This afternoon, Freed had 2 falls at 131 and 245. Lanny White won his match against South Carolina 6-3, but he was pinned by the Tennessee champ at 5-10, so he was 1-1 on the day.
Half a minute to go, first period. A 6-0 score. Alan Freed, the freshman from St. Ed's, leaves up his opponent, Lonnie White. That makes it a 6-1. And 2 more now for Alan Freed. The freshman doing well with 15 seconds to go in the period with an 8-1 score.
I think this is typical of what we've seen of Alan Freed so far this year. A scoring machine, really. That new technical fall rule where you win by 15 and it's over.
And that's going to end the first period with a score 8-1. Started the second period, Alan Freed is in the advantage position. But he is so smooth for a freshman. All the moves. Goes for the pin, sets people up.
He just never seems to have be in bad position. There's that tilt again, and that'll be back points.
It's going to make it 10.
Probably 11 here. Referee gives him 3. That'll make it 11-1. The thing about Alan is that he's a relatively small 98-pounder. You know, they weigh in at 100
Here he goes
today.
again. There he goes again. That could be a pin. He's got it.
2 minutes, 37 seconds for Alan Freed.
There's your champion. Now with a 15-0 record with 12 falls. At 105, we've got Mike Carpenter, the junior from St. Ed's. Look at this year, 5-1 and 2 of those are falls. He's going to be taking on also a junior from Tulsa Hale, Wes Burnett. His record this year stands at 6-3. Brian, this one we've got 2 juniors now.
That's right. And both of these boys have had mixed success. Rotsaert is 5-1. Burnett 6-3 so far this year. Both boys lost to the South Carolina state champion. Oh, look at that beautiful move by Rotsaert. He's ready to wrestle tonight. He has a quick 2-0 lead. Both, as I mentioned, both boys lost to the South Carolina state champion, and both boys won against Tennessee.
Whoop. Yeah, gave up a point. That makes it 2-1. But with wrestling so well on their feet traditionally, St. Ed's, it's really not much of a problem as they go off the mat.
Burnett, as I mentioned, 6'3". He's a junior. His sophomore brother we'll see at 145 pounds, so his younger brother is also quite a bit larger. Burnett's done a lot of backing up out of the circle so far in this first period. I would expect referee Jeff Greenfield probably has already orally warned him about that.
Trying to get that crossface in and get behind him. Nothing yet.
As you mentioned, Mike, both boys are juniors. Both wrestled on varsity as sophomores. Rotsaert was 20-7 at this weight. Burnett was 18-7 as their 98 last year at Tulsa.
And we're down to just under a half a minute remaining in this first period. And gets the 2. That makes it 4-1 with 8 seconds to go in the first period.
That's the way the first period's going to end at 4-1 Rotsaert.
The fouls you see are the point. The 6-0 score under a home visitors. Of course, St. Ed will always be home. Once it's fouled, that's the next one.
Second period action starts with both boys on their feet. Rotsaert enjoying a 4-1 lead right now. Rotsaert looks to be clearly the stronger of the two boys. A little shorter perhaps, but much huskier.
He's really trying to get set for that throw, isn't he? Whoa! Out of bounds. Strong move by Burnett.
It's interesting, Mike, because Rotsaert lost this afternoon an almost identical move. They get him leaning in like that, and he got thrown by the South Carolina state champion and just buried.
Minute 12 to go in this second period. 4-1 score. Rotsaert leading it by 3, now by 5. Another takedown. Minute to go. And he's going to lose him again. That makes it 6-2.
And those are legitimately earned escapes there on the part of Burnett. Much action here right yet. Rotsaert in again.
And no points. You can expect a very partial crowd here, and the Eagles' Nest here at St. Ed's Gymnasium didn't like that call.
Well, they may not, but Jeff Greenfielder, who we see in the back of our picture right now, is the #1 official, as voted on by the coaches in Northeastern Ohio. He really is just about the best we have here. The other referee on the second mat with Tennessee and South Carolina is Lou Natali, another outstanding official from this area. They really have two of the best here. (6-2) Rotsaert right now, and that's the way the second period will end.
Both on their feet to start the third and final period with a 4-point lead for Rotsaert.
Mike, he's done a very workmanlike job in this bout, but he's got to watch that big throw because twice now Burnett has almost had him, once at the end of the period and once out of bounds.
Yep, you almost feel anxious for Rotsaert. You think that Burnett is almost there, almost has the move and just doesn't quite make it.
I think Howard would like to see Rotsaert get more than 4 ahead, because if the big throw is hit and it's a 5-point move, he wants Rotsaert to be at least 6 ahead.
Rotsaert loves that upper body and then goes in for a double and gets it. That makes it 8-2. Minute 15 to go in the third period.
Rotsaert as I
Oh! Did he get any?
Nope.
No.
Rotsaert, the West Geauga champ earlier in this year. He's been a... There's the escape, makes it 8-3. Rotsaert's had some trouble making 105 this year, so he has not wrestled as much as some of the other St. Ed's varsity wrestlers. Bruce Foraker and Dave Rawls have also wrestled at this weight for Eds this year. They have good depth. Burnett was just warned for stalling. He's done a lot of backing in this match. I know that's his style. He's kind of a counter-attacker, but you've got to move forward in the circle. He's taken very few shots in this match.
Half a minute to go in this third and final period. Rotsaert's still a little aggressive, even though he's got a 5-point lead.
It's probably the best defense against getting thrown. A relatively slow-paced match, though, in total for the 6 minutes. Rotsaert doing stalking forward most of the time. He's gotten 4 takedowns. Burnett with 3 escapes.
And the Wizard prevents that takedown. 2 seconds, 1 second. So that ends it. So your 105-pound champion is the junior from St. Ed, Mike Rotsaert.
That gives Eds a 9-0 lead in the team score.
At 112 pounds, he's got Kevin Biggs, the senior from St. Ed. His record this year is 9-0, 6-0 falls, and he was second to state last year. He's going to be going again. Steve Clevenger, a senior from Tulsa Hale. Record this year, 9-0, 7 of those are fall, and he's been a state place winner the last 2 years. I think this 112-pound match can be called the Pinners match.
These boys are both super. We talked about it at the top of the show here. Both seniors, both been state place winners 2 years in a row. Both pinners. They haven't gone over a period so far today. All their pins have been early in the mount. In fact, they've all been within the first minute.
Yeah, 96 seconds for Biggs on the mat and 81 seconds for Clevenger on the mat.
Biggs in with the single there. Clevenger just last week beat Keith Nix, who was rated #1 in Oklahoma at this weight, and who was the national world champion this past summer in Peru. Biggs last year at 105 pounds, really the favorite to win this state title, got upset by Mark Sanfilippo in the finals after he'd beaten Sanfilippo 3 times earlier during the year.
Well, wrestling is no different than any other sport. It's tough to beat someone 3 and 4 times in the same season.
Both boys have great wrestling pedigrees. Clevenger's 2 older brothers were state champs in Oklahoma, and his brother last year was an All-American at Louisiana State University. And, of course, Biggs has 2 younger brothers who wrestle, one, of course, here at St. Ed's.
Been a scoreless first period thus far. We've got 37 seconds remaining. But you got 2 excellent wrestlers on the mat.
I think, as we often see in these big bouts, boys are kind of cautious, feeling each other out, knowing that the other boy is very skilled and can nail him with, with any little misstep. Both boys warned for stalling.
Almost. Ooh, quick reactions by Clevenger. Final 5 seconds of this first period. And the way it stands now, and it will end up scoreless.
Clevenger.
And there they are right now.
He is terrific on top. I mean, that's the only reason you take the top position anymore, is if you know you can turn the other boy.
That's going to take an awful lot out of the senior Kevin Biggs. Stalemate.
Biggs has got to move quicker than that, or he's going to have the legs in again.
It's already in there. Clevenger gets him in a hurry. Half a minute gone, second period, still scoreless.
Now that he's got him in, he's got to do something with him.
Official counting it off for a stalemate because nothing is really being done in it. Stalling against Clevenger.
There's a stalling point there because he feels Clevenger wasn't doing anything with the legs. He was just using him to punish.
Well, you know, there's different styles of wrestling around the country, and officiating, they call them a little differently. So it's really hard. Now Biggs is trying to sneak out the back door.
Yeah, but Clevenger's trying to turn him at the same time.
Trying to get a bar in, cannot. You see Biggs hanging onto that elbow. .40 seconds to go, second period.
Boy, is he good with those legs.
Well, he is tough, isn't he? It stops you from getting a power base. Trying to turn Biggs. Not yet. Got to break that plane up, 45 degrees. Boy, talk about being wrapped up. Stalemate. .16 seconds to go in this first period. It's a 1-0 score. Kevin Biggs has got that.
Boy, Clevenger is tough on that top position. My goodness.
Clevenger almost looks like he's out of position as time runs out. No point scored by Clevenger, and it's 1-0 at the end of second period. Part of the sellout crowd. Kevin Biggs decided to start in the both on their feet. He's got a single. Boy, there go the legs to work for Clevenger.
We knew Biggs would take both up. He doesn't want to be on the mat with Clevenger, and I don't blame him.
No, I don't either. Boy, the way Clevenger counters, though, you get the leg and you still can't do anything with it. Half a minute gone in this third period.
Biggs much more aggressive in this period than he was in the first.
Both boys undefeated this season. 9-0. 6 falls for Biggs and 7 falls for Clevenger. Biggs second in the state last year. Clevenger third last year and second the year before in Oklahoma. 2 quality wrestlers, evenly matched. Down to the final minute of this match. Oh, he got in trouble, Biggs did. It's 2-1 score.
Boy, he didn't want that to happen because Clevenger's in the top again. And boy, Clevenger is about as tough a top wrestler as I've seen this year.
He almost looks like he has no control. The way he's so high, but he just keeps you from getting any base where you can do anything to stop him. 25 seconds to go, third period. Clevenger leading it by a point, but he's where he wants to be in the advantage position. He's not doing much with that top position now in the final 10 seconds.
Last 5.
Stalemate. 2 seconds, 1 second. And Steve Clevenger keeps his record intact. He wins it 2-1. There's your champion. Senior from Tulsa Hale, Steve Clevenger. At 119 pounds, we've got John Venesile. senior from St. Ed's. Record this year, 15-1. 7 of those are falls. He's going to be going against Butch McFee from Tulsa Hale, a senior. He's undefeated this year at 9-0 and was a state runner-up in Oklahoma last year.
We have 2 more quality wrestlers here at 119. John Venesile, 15-1 with 7 falls for St. Ed's, against Butch McFee, 9-0 and state runner-up last year in Oklahoma. A very well-wrestled, narrow 2-1 win for Steve Clevenger over Kevin Biggs. Not a lot of scoring, but boy, Clevenger is tremendous on top.
Fans didn't like the extracurricular activities by Butch McFee.
He's trying to change the momentum here. It's 9-3 now in the team score.
Venesile looks like he's awful determined, doesn't he? Look at him.
We heard Coach Hewlett say that they were tough from 112 to 167, and boy, we're seeing it right here. Both these boys, Clevenger and now McFee, look exceptionally good.
Tried to get that single with a fireman by Venesile. He doesn't have it yet. Nice counter by Butch McFee.
Two very experienced seniors. Venesile, of course, a district qualifier, a regional qualifier out of Mid-Park High School as a sophomore, transferred to St. Ed's last year, was 30-2 on their green team, and now 15-1 as a varsity wrestler. Shot from a little far away with that double.
I'll tell you what, that's Tulsa Hale team, the great counter wrestlers. .27 seconds to go. First period. Don't score.
Last 10 seconds. No score.
The opposition taken by McFee, but Venesile almost got out on that one. Could not pull it off.
This time he's
got it. That makes it 1-0. Venesile from Ed's leading it with 1:35 to go in the second period.
These boys are playing for keeps.
Trying to set it up. There it is. There it is. If he can trip him down.
Boy, look at McFee rip that leg right away.
Boy, I'll tell you, tough. Well, you've got to give Bill Hewitt a lot of credit. His team counters as well as any we've seen this year.
That's why they're the state champions of Oklahoma in '85 and favored to repeat in '86.
He gets in there, does get the takedown this time, and that makes it 3-0.
Boy, that was a power move, Mike. He just rolled right in there.
He wasn't going to be denied on that one. He just picked him up and threw him down. Final 30 seconds of this second period. Still controlled by Venesile with 10 seconds. 7 seconds to go in this period, and Venesile just going to hang on, let time run out. He's got that 3-point lead, and that's the way it'll end. Venesile will start the third period on his feet. He lets up McFee. That makes it 3-1. Big match, really, for both schools, especially Tulsa Hale. It's a 9-3 team score. That could cut the lead to 9-6 as opposed to 14-3. Whoa! Minute 40 to go in the third period. There really is an intensity on that mat, isn't there?
Yeah, we've seen even a little extra intensity off the mat a couple of times.
Minute 25 to go. Try by McFee.
Venesile always in his stance. Honor student at St. Ed's.
Final minute. Three to 1 score. Takedown by McFee will tie it. You know, Brian, Butch McFee looks pleasantly confident, doesn't he?
Yeah, he may know something we don't, but right now he's 2 points down, and he's only got 35 seconds to make it up.
Yeah, there's a single again. Nice counter by McFee. And Venesile just can't bring him down to the mat under control.
I tell you, Mike, the experience of wrestling in these high-intensity bouts for both boys has got to be a real plus. Speeds up their development, really helps them gain their potential.
Oh, slipped by McFee, but he got off the mat.
They penalized McFee for running off the mat, which I think was there, and that makes it 4-1.
10 seconds, and that makes it a 4-3 match with 6 seconds to go. That penalty really gonna hurt Butch McFee. 2 seconds, 1 second, and the match will end with John Venesile winning it by 1, 4-3, and there's your 119-pound champion, John Venesile. At 126 pounds, this junior from St. Ed's, Helderman. Record this year is 5-2. All of those at 138 pounds. He's going to be going against Tim McCall, the senior from Tulsa Hale, whose record this year is 9-0. He was second in the state last year and one of the top college prospects in Oklahoma. At 126 pounds, Matt Helderman, Brian, with 5-2. But he's going against a senior that's undefeated.
Oh, look at that. Tim McCall, of course, second in the state last year for Oklahoma. Oh, look at that.
Oh, his heat's up quick.
Like I said, his twin brother is the state champ. He was only second last year, but boy, he looks like he'll be first this year.
Helderman coming from a great wrestling family. Brother wrestled with the champion here at St. Ed's, and he gets a point. That makes it 2-1.
In the stands tonight, we have the Brain Trust from Muncie Delta High School. We see 3 of their coaches there. They're here to scout St. Edwards because they'll be wrestling them in just 2 weeks, and they're the 5-time state champions of Indiana, and they honestly believe they'll beat St. Ed's, and maybe they will.
Good luck.
As you mentioned, the Helderman's a great wrestling family. Bobby, a state champ, and a couple of brothers, great wrestlers at John Marshall. We mentioned Helderman's record at 5-2, but that's a little deceptive. Most of that wrestling was done at 138. He's down to 126 right now.
You think that's his true wrestling weight?
Yes. Oh,
Just inside a minute to go in this period. Still no control. And there it is. He's got control, too. That makes it 4-1. McCall of Tulsa Hale leading it. He'll get back points here. 43 seconds to go. First period. "35 seconds. Look at him trying to spread that base to get that additional pressure on the Helderman.
and there's the ball.
The pen.
136, a fall for Tim McCall. And that'll narrow the team score to 12-9.
That's your 126-pound champion, Tim McCall. At 132 pounds, this is Mike Carpenter, the senior from St. Ed's. He's had 2 falls, 9-0 record this year, was 4th to the state last year. He's still big on your head. Chris Cook, the senior from Tulsa Hale, 6 falls, 8-1 record this year. At 126 pounds, another quality wrestling pair on the mat. This is where you say Tulsa Hale's strength is.
That's right.
Middleweights here. You can see why Tulsa Hale is considered the #2 team in the country behind St. Ed's. They've got some quality wrestlers.
They may have a couple quality boys at 32, 38, but I'll tell you, Mike Carpenter and Guy Palker were 4th and 3rd in the state last year for St. Ed's, so they're going to meet some high-powered opposition from St. Ed's right here. Cook, a real pinner. He's had 2 falls today so far.
Minute to go in this quarter's first period. Oh, almost got the single leg by Carpenter.
I think we've seen a trend develop on the feet here. Ed's being the aggressor for the most part, but Hale with great counter moves.
Almost had the ankle again. Great counter. 30 seconds to go. First period. Still no score. Some almosts, but no scores. There it is. He's got it. Mike Carpenter gets the first points in the match. 10 seconds remaining, and he leads it 2-0. Four seconds. It brings him down to control, and that's the way the first period would end. 2-0, Carpenter leading. Start of the second period. Both going to start on their feet. Carpenter likes it there. He's got to keep him on the mat. Gets the trip and gets the 2. That makes it 4-0.
Nicely done there. Not hurried. Carpenter lets him go, and it makes it 4-1.
Well, he's got to feel very confident on his feet.
Another honor roll student at St. Ed's, and Ed's has a very fine student-athlete group for wrestling this year.
You know, it's another trend that Tulsa Hale, and this is not a knock at them, but they play the edge of the mats very well. They're not backing off, but they always know where they're at. Anytime you're going to get them in a takedown, they seem to be able to just fall out of bounds.
Carpenter clearly been the aggressor in this bout.
Oh, nice move by Carpenter, or by Cook. Brian, doesn't Chris Cook have a stalling warning against him?
Yes, he does.
Well, he's got 50 seconds to go. He has been backing up. There's a double. Strong move by Carpenter. He's very strong in that double. You can't seem to pull away. And he builds his lead now to 6-1 with 37 seconds to go in the second period. Carpenter with a 9-0 record with only 2 falls. Carpenter also first in the West Jogger tournament and the Spencer Port tournament.
After 3 high-intensity bouts, this one just a little bit slow. Carpenter really dominating so far.
Seems certainly to be the stronger of the 2 wrestlers. 7 seconds to go, second period. Carpenter with that 5-point lead, going for some back points. Doesn't get them, and the score is 6-1 at the end of 2. Start of the third period, and of course, Carpenter lets him up again. Makes it 6-2. Carpenter was out with a shoulder injury and missed the North Canton and Maple Heights tournament, but he seems strong enough now, doesn't he? He's got that cradle in there. Going to try and turn him.
That makes it 8-3.
Oh, he set that up beautifully, didn't he? That makes it 10-3 now.
10-4 with the escape.
He may get 2 more right here. He does. That's 12-4. Now it's 12-5. Minute to go, third period. Carpenter's almost putting on a takedown clinic here.
Right. Cook has got to do something to break the momentum here.
Again, very patient with that takedown. That makes it 14-5. "35 seconds to go. He gives up the point. That makes it 6. 2 more. 15. 16-6. 16-7 with 19 seconds to go. Last 13.
He's mentally really broke, Cook.
Oh, yeah.
18-7.
Last 5 seconds to go in the match. And Mike Carpenter will win it by 11, 18-7. The 132-pound champion, the senior, who still is undefeated this year, Mike Carpenter. At 138 pounds. Guy Palker, the junior from St. Ed, 10-0 this year, 5 of those in falls. He was third in the state last year at 138. He's going to be taking on Mokie, the sophomore from Tulsa Hale. His record this year stands at 5-3. At 138, should be quite a match with Palker. He's quite a pinner, and Mokie really not too successful so far this year with 5-3 record.
McGee only a sophomore for Tulsa Hale. He's going to be a good wrestler in a couple of years, but right now, Palker may have just a little too much for him.
At the end, the last match with a superior decision, that makes a team score 16-9 in favor of St. Ed's. Palker again, 2-time tournament champion at West G and Spencer Port.
Third in the state last year as a sophomore, quite a record.
And the junior gets the first 2 points.
Makes it 2-1.
Trying for that throw.
Makes it 4-1.
Looks like they changed their mind of which way they're going to be facing occasionally. But
4-2 right now. Boy, I'll tell you, Palker really is after him.
Oh, minute to go in the first period. A lot of points scored. Palker trying to yank him back on and does. Crowd loves it. Then he gets 2 more. That makes it 6-2 with 47 seconds to go in the period. Lets him up.
Palker, very physical wrestler anyway.
He just got out muscled on that one. He tried to throw Palker, he being Mokie McGee, and Palker just turned around and threw him. That makes it 8-3.
And then their fall points should make it 10-3, and it does.
There they are. 27 seconds to go in the first period, and we've had 14 points scored already.
Palker, really a little machine there. He loves to wrestle. Very physical. Makes it 12-4. Palker with 5 takedowns here in the first period.
This is final 5 seconds in the first period and 16 points scored, but 12 of them belong to Guy Palker.
Palker's older brother, also a varsity wrestler at Westlake High School. He graduated last year. Palker at 26 last year. He's gone up 2 weight classes. Keeps pushing McGee's head to the mat, spin around. He's got it. 14-4. And there's the escape to make it 14-5. It's been a real baptism of fire for Mokie McGee here tonight. The sophomore had a good opening round here. The first 2 rounds he won in a first period fall and a 9-0 major decision, but Palker has been way too strong and too good right now. That makes it 16-5. Palker's looking for that technical fall, the 15-point advantage. With the escape at 16-6, he's already 10 ahead, and there's still 40 seconds to go in the second period.
Boy, that was going to be a great throw. He just slipped off.
He gets a 5-point throw here. The match is over.
We're still in the second period. Well, Palker missed the North Canton and the Maple Heights, too, because of a sprained neck. Sure, no signs of that today. $15 seconds to go. Doesn't have the 2 yet. Down the final 8 seconds of the second period. 2 seconds. And no point scored. The second period will end 16-6. Start of the third period. And McGee took down. Palker just lets him up. That makes it 16-7.
Palker looks like he might be running down just a little bit here. He hasn't wrestled much in the last month. He may not be in the shape he'd like to be yet. He did wrestle last week at the Spencerport and won that tournament. But as you mentioned, Mike, he'd missed the previous 3 weeks.
They're trying to strength move by McGee. It just doesn't work. Minute 27 to go in his third and final period. Guy Palker enjoying a 16-7 lead. That makes it 18-7 with that takedown. 18-9 by letting him up.
I'll say this for Mokie. He's been taken down a lot of times, but he don't go to his back.
Stalemate with 52 seconds to go in his third period.
Talk about the wrestlers being in good shape, and of course they are. We ought to mention that the referee, Jeff Greenfelder, is also in sensational shape. A marathon runner in the summer months. One of the best conditioned officials in the area. Palker still getting those takedowns. That'll make it 20-9 with the escape. He's had 9 takedowns in this bout. probably the longest 6 minutes of Mokie McGee's life.
Giving a point unsportsmanlike on that, which is really academic at this point with the final 7 seconds to go. 21-9 score. And that ends the bout. Your 138-pound champion, Guy Palker, whose record now goes to 11-0 at 145 pounds. Joe Gucciardo, the senior from St. Ed, his record this year stands at 13-1. 6 of those were on call. He'll be going against Burnett, the sophomore from Tulsa Hale. His record now stands at 4-4. Here we are at 145 pounds. Both had rather easy times getting in here with their opposition earlier this afternoon.
Well, not really, Mike. Gucciardo had a very tough 7-3 victory over the state third-place winner from Tennessee. And that boy pinned Scott Burnett in 31 seconds. But they both did beat the South Carolina boy without too much trouble. The wrestler from Tennessee was an exceptionally good wrestler. Gucciardo got 2 takedowns late in the bout to win it.
Half a minute gone. It's 2-1 score with Gucciardo leading it. Again, we have defensive wrestlers and counters against very aggressive takedown artists in St. Ed's. And that makes it 4-1.
Again, Burnett, only a sophomore, I don't think is ready for the firepower of Joe Gucciardo.
Oh, he's got that half in there. That looks like it. He's got the 3 anyways. Minute 4. You can see that half was not in that tight. 52 seconds. Oh, I tell you, Burnett really fighting to stay off his back. He's planted.
118. 118 for Joe Gucciardo.
The 145-pound champion with a fall. Joe Gucciardo, the senior, sends his record now 14-1 in 7 falls. At 155 pounds, Jay Landolfo, the junior from St. Ed, undefeated this year, 15-0, 9 of those falls. He's going to be taking on the senior from Tulsa Hale, Wes White. His record is 9-0, and guess what? All of those are falls. Great matches so far. And at 155, Ron, you feel this is one of the premier matches.
That's right. Wes White, one of the most heavily recruited wrestlers in Oklahoma. White hasn't had to go 6 minutes yet this year. He's had all falls, 9-0. Landolfo 15-0 with 9 falls, so these boys are pinners. We saw that with Landolfo when he was on the freshman team at Eds. He was 36-0 with 31 falls.
Oh, gosh. He's only a junior. First at West G, first at North Canton, and first at Spencerport.
You got to go with experience here in one sense. Wes White, 3rd in Oklahoma last year. He's wrestled a lot of high school bouts, a lot of high-intensity bouts. This is Landolfo's first year on the varsity here at Eds. He's by far the taller of the two. White's a little more compact.
Coming up to minute remaining in this first period. Still scoreless. That height comes in handy in a situation like that. It's tough getting a hold of those legs. Nice try, great counter by White.
White really strong around the hips and the thighs.
That strength of White's. Still no takedown.
He's got it
Now
there.
he's got it. 27 seconds to go first period. That makes it 2-0. Wes White of Tulsa Hale enjoying that 2-point lead. Now they'll call a stalemate.
Look at that. Landolfo very active, but White countering everything. In the first period, end with White leading 2-0. Two nothing here, start of the second period. Again, both boys on their feet.
You know, Brian, you talk about Wes White and his experience, but, you know, Landolfo's 73-2. He's only a junior, and it's his third year of wrestling, although 2 years he certainly were not in the varsity. But he developed into an excellent wrestler. I think he started off, what, 132 when he was a freshman.
Right, he kind of had a little problem between his freshman and sophomore year. Grew an awful lot. He has to get used to his body, and I think he's done it. But you can see there's a lot more room on that frame for weight. He's going to be very big.
Minute 30 to go in the second period. Still a 2-0 score. Wes White leading it with a takedown in the first period. He's got the move in there. See if he can do something with it. What strength by Wes White.
Boy, what countering.
Got the 3/4 on. Minute to go in the period. Wes seems exhausted. You mentioned he was injured earlier today.
Right now, he had a flu shot about 2 days ago, and sometimes that can take it out of you too. But he does not seem to be moving real well here, even though we're just midway through the second period. Landolfo definitely taking the action to him.
39 seconds to go, second period. Only 2 points scored, and that was in the first period. Again, beautiful counter by Wes White.
Williams calling, winning the decision. Making the team score, McCall 30 and Rock Hill 18.
19 seconds to go. Landolfo gets in there and can't do anything with it. That flu seemed to have it's taking its toll on Wes White with 8 seconds, 6 seconds to go, second period. He has that very slim 2-point lead as the second period ends. Landolfo starts his third period on the bottom.
He chose there. He wants to get at least the 1 point, maybe 2 for reversal. One thing we've noticed is that the Oklahoma boys have been excellent on the top position.
Team score so far is 27-9 in favor of St. Ed's, and we're at 155 pounds. Wes White was called for a stalling warning. And 1-point escape now for Jay Landolfo. That makes it 2-1. Minute 20 to go in the match. Got that leg, but beautiful counter by Wes White. Another stalling against Wes White. That ties it up at 2-2.
He's not feeling well or something. He's just not wrestling like this.
He comes back on the mat, you look into his eyes. He is totally exhausted, and yet he's an excellent wrestler and well-conditioned. You can tell by his body. Anybody who had the flu and had a flu shot can wrestle as well and counter as well as he has. You've got to feel as this an outstanding athlete. But it's all tied up now at 2. Landolfo goes in for the double and gets it. And that makes it now 4-2, and Landolfo takes the lead. First time in the match with 36 seconds to go, and Wes White is just hanging onto the mat. You can see his face looking at that clock. He's just worn out. Landolfo going for back points. secret here for Landolfo is give up one. Just don't get a reversal. He gave up the one. That makes it 4-3. 17 seconds to go in the match. Landolfo still wants to go after it. 9 seconds. Got their 1-point lead. And he gets 2 more on the takedown. And time runs out. The 155-pound champion winning at 6-3 is Dave Landolfo, the junior from St. Ed. At 167 pounds, Kurt York, the senior from St. Ed, this year's record 15-8. 8 of those are falls. And he goes against Mark Rollins, senior from Tulsa Hale. He's 8-0-1 this year, but that was tied to the state champ at 185 pounds. In the last few years, he's been a state qualifier. At 167, got 2 fine wrestlers, but this is going into the strength of St. Edwards.
Well, this is the last strong wrestler for Tulsa Hale, and he is very good, Mark Rollins. He's already placed twice at the state level. He'll be going against Kurt York. Momentum certainly has switched back to Ed's, but boy, look at that nice takedown, and it's 2-0. York 15-0 right now. Rollins 8-0-1.
Oh, that win by Landolfo, that gives St. Ed's a 30-9 lead. Again, a good leg man is Mark Rollins.
That win clinched the bout, and no longer any decision. And there's the escape to make it 2-1. York wrestled at 185 this afternoon. He was down 7-1 against the South Carolina state champion, came back for a narrow 13-11 victory. It may have taken a little out of him, though, I will say this. Rollins has had 2 quick falls.
Yep, he's only been on the mat for 1 minute and 43 seconds. The 2 bouts. Just inside 1 minute to go in this first period. Another takedown by Rollins.
That makes it 4-1. Whoa! York has run into a buzzsaw right here in the first period with Rollins. And there's the escape. That'll make it 4-2. York looks about a weight class bigger than Rollins, actually.
Yeah, he sure does. Broader and taller.
Over on the far mat, Tennessee and South Carolina are wrestling a great bout. It's 30-30 on that far bout with the heavyweights to the side. But right here, Mark Rollins pretty much in complete control so far. York 15-0. He was 27-4 last year on the green team. Did a lot of freestyle wrestling this summer.
Potentially dangerous hole by Rollins. He leads it 4-2 with a half a minute gone here in the second period. It seems to really be in control of this match.
Seems like you ought to be more than 2 points ahead, actually. And that'll make it 4-3 with the escape. Unbelievably, a takedown by York would give him the lead.
He's going for it. Inside a minute to go. .53 seconds to go in the second period. York is working for it. Whoop, almost. He's got it. Takes the lead with 40 seconds to go in the match. 5-4. Half a minute go.
Rollins not doing much on the bottom there. Again, seems to have run out of gas.
20 seconds.
They're back to action after a lengthy timeout, and Rollins right away with the escape to make it 5-5.
8 seconds to go in the second period.
Both boys, again, with a real flurry of action there, but the second period will end tied at 5.
And it does.
Rollins took the bottom position, and the escape makes it 6-5, and I think he's going to get a takedown here.
And does. No. Some of the crowd didn't like it.
He's called the line the same way all night. He may not like it, but it's been the same the entire night.
Well, that's about the only thing you're going to ask is consistency in an official. It was right there for Kurt York. Mark Rollins gets his second stalling warning. That ties it all up at 6.
He looks like he's really hurting now.
He seems to have that flurry of strength and activity, but then he gets off just worn down. Getting up very slowly, Mark Rollins.
York, just constant pressure now. Still a minute to go here. He looks... Oh, nice change of direction there. There's a takedown that makes it 8-6. Rollins.
48 seconds to go. Another caution and a 1 point given to York, and now an escape that ties it up at 8 apiece. 37 seconds to go in the period. And 2-point takedown by Rollins. 28 seconds to go and a 2-point lead. 20 seconds to go. Nine seconds.
Looks like Mark Rollins is going to hang on here and pull out a 10-8 victory.
An escape.
10-9.
And time runs out. That ends the match. The 167-pound champion is Mark Rollins from Tulsa Hale. At 185. Dan Mitchell, the senior from St. Ed, played 6th in the state last year. This year, the second stands at 91. He's going to go against a sophomore from Tulsa Hale, Curtis Reed. Record this year is only 1-1. We're at 185 pounds, no air. They are not going to wrestle 175 pounds, only 12 weight classes in this quad. So at 185 pounds. And this is going into the strength of St. Ed's as Dan Mitchell gets a takedown. And a reversal. Oh, tied up now at 2. And another reversal. He's on his back. And Curtis Reed is pinned.
23 seconds.
That was quick. Dan Mitchell in 23 seconds becomes the 185-pound champion. And now the team score is 36-12. At heavyweight, Tom Lisy, the senior from St. Ed. He's 5'10", goes 215 pounds, has a 12-2 record this year. He'll take on the 5'6", 210-pound senior from Tulsa Hale, Mike Brooks, who's 0-2 this year. Now we're at the heavyweights with Lisy and Brooks.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if there is a
Brian, you believe that Lisy can pin in this one?
Well, these last two bouts are real mismatches. The boy that just wrestled at 185, this is his first year of wrestling, and even though he's got a lot of athletic ability, he just isn't prepared to wrestle against Dan Mitchell. And Mike Brooks is 5'6", 210. He was 5-10 last year as a junior. He's 1-3 so far this year. So it's unlikely that he's going to be able to do too much with the very experienced Tom Lisy.
There's the 2 points for Lisy.
I think the Tulsa people, when we talked to them at the beginning of the show, even said they just, after 167, just didn't have that much. And there's no question that they understand the situation here. Ed's just so well balanced. That near fall makes it 5-0 here with 49 seconds to go in the first period. Lisy can probably do pretty much whatever he wants here.
Oh, Lisy's got him on his back. 37 seconds to go, and a pin.
125 to make the final score. St. Ed's 42, Tulsa Hale 12.
The Amateur Wrestling News said that St. Ed's was #1. Tulsa Hale was #2 in the country as far as wrestling and high school is concerned. I don't think there's any doubt that St. Ed's then really deserves the title of #1 with that score of 42-12.
I think you're right, Mike. You know, there were 6 key bouts, and they split 3 each. 3 for Tulsa, 3 for St. Ed's. But St. Ed's won the other 6 because of their great depth. And that was really the difference in this dual meet.
And Landolfo with a big win that he had.
That's right, he wrestled a great match. Kurt York wrestled a great match, losing 10-9. We got to give credit to some of the Tulsa boys. Steve Clevenger at 112, the best leg man I've seen in a lot of years.
Well, there's some outstanding wrestling going to be coming around our way. Next week, we're going to be taking off for a special. There'll be no wrestling on the 28th. The following week, we'll bring you the Brecksville Holiday Tournament, and then Brian and I will join the tournament trail for the districts, the regionals, and the state. Score once again here between St. Ed's and Tulsa Hale, 42-12. St. Ed's still retains its crown. For Brian Brakeman, this is Mike Massa saying so long from Lakewood, Ohio, and the Eagles Nest of St. Edwards.
January 17th.